Cam lost, and it was this big controversy of him walking out the press conference. Like, people were mad, saying like he shouldn't have did it, and I don't know. What did y'all take? Cause I don't really watch football, so I don't really know how that goes. Like, so when he walked out, I was just like, okay, like I ain't paying him.
No, yeah.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
Oh, for the press conference.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Remember, think back to Marshawn Lynch when he always used to
Oh,
say,
he said,
"I'm only here so I don't get."
Well,
fined."
he came, so
He
do he have to stay?
Yes.
Oh.
Like, as I'm gonna.
Unfortunately,
I'll be honest with you. The last time I actually watched Cam Newton, ironically, was when I was at Perkins' house.
Yeah.
That's the only time I watched football.
Yeah.
I did happen to catch some of the game. Of course, I watched the highlights, like at ESPN. I was very anxious to see what Stephen A. Smith had to say about it the next day. And I agree with everything that he said. But from my point of view, and just...
But what did he say? Like, so he bashed him for walking out?
He didn't bash him. He said that he's a great young man. And let's not... And what I agree with Stephen A. Smith, he said, let's not discredit him for what he's done throughout the year. He's been a very positive figure throughout the NFL as well as the black community, as well as to the youth. You know what I mean? You've seen numerous videos of him, going to talk to high school kids, giving them pep talks, whatever the case may be. However, all of that work that you did, why would you undo it? Because guess what? These are kids who aspire to be like you, go to the NFL, and you expect for them to conduct themselves this way. Now, what if they do that in their high school setting? What recruiter do you think is going to want to put them on their squad because of the fact that they're conducting themselves that way? That plays a major part. Now, when you go into the professional league, you're not only an athlete anymore, you're a professional. So you get paid to do all of these things. It's your responsibility. So you could have sat there and stayed quiet and gave them no choice but not to ask questions, but you have a responsibility not to get up and walk away. It's almost as if you're working for someone and you say, and you say, you know what, you're here from 9 to 5 and you decide at 3 o'clock you're just going to get up and leave. So they're liable to fire you or fine you, rather, right? So I personally feel that he shouldn't have gotten that because he's a professional. That's what he's... You're paid these millions of dollars to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's on and off the field. Yeah. So I don't agree with him doing that, and I'm highly
What about? Did you hear that he was getting?
Doesn't matter if you're being ridiculed. No? If you have a coworker that is if you had a coworker that is harassing you, what do you do? No, you have to go to HR. So you need to wait. You need to handle that after. At the end of the day, you're a grown man. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. And like I said, and I wanted to point this out. The NFL, the NBA, the NBL, whatever it is you want to call it, the UFC, whatever the case may be, whatever sport you want to call it.
Gotcha.
This is a job still. It's a glorified job. You're on a platform. However, you're not in charge of your own legacy. You understand what I'm saying? They delegate what you do. Essentially, it's still big business. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have the liability to say that you're going to get up and leave because guess what? At that point, you don't own yourself. Unfortunately, you don't have that freedom.
You see, and this is where, I don't know if y'all want to go, but this is why I'm playing devil's advocate right? So you have Cam Newton, #1 draft pick. If you really follow Cam, he's always been a sore loser. He doesn't like to lose. He wears his emotions on his sleeves. He's very emotional. He makes faces. He drops himself on the floor. He's very expressive. He's very, very expressive. He's always been like that. Now, you got to tell me, as a person, when you are making the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the UFC, whatever it may be, you're making them all this money.
Right.
Your jersey sales. You're winning. So, in a sense, you got to remember, I'm still human. Like, I'm making them all this money, but I feel some type of way because I just lost the biggest game of my career. Not a lot of people make it to the Super Bowl. You feel me? And I guess a lot of people was going for him, especially more because he was black.
Yeah.
And you don't hear that every day that a black African American
quarterback
who's had an MVP season in the Super Bowl. You feel me? So you have all these people pulling you down. You have the owners. You have the teams. You have the league itself.
Yes.
Why can't I still be myself?
I mean,
if I'm just upset, I just lost the biggest game of my career, and I don't know if I'll ever make it back again. I could go play next season and tore my ACL and never come back the same. You understand? So for me being that emotional, personally, I don't think it was really that big of a deal. Like, he was just upset and he played horrible. He was hard on himself, and as a man that's emotional, any man that's emotional like that, I think is gonna react that way. Once you start talking about what he did wrong, when he already feels bad about what he did wrong, he's not gonna want to stand around and listen to it from someone else.